Hola a todos, bienvenidos a un nuevo vídeo de GreedFall. Mi nombre es Hatox. Y bueno, en el último vídeo creo que desentrañamos el, el coso la trama de Egon, ¿vale? De la moneda de plata, aunque me suena un poco que no, ¿sabes lo que quiero decir? No sé, me ha quedado un poco más, o no, me ha quedado un poco mal sabor de boca porque se ha resuelto de una forma muy extraña, como bueno, como muchas otras misiones en este juego, para que no lo vamos a negar. Pero bueno, no sé, esperaba un poquito más de, no sé, cosas. Vamos a seguir haciendo misiones, vamos a hacer esta de la investigación de Eden, perdón. Tengo mucho calor, ya empiezan las calores y yo empiezo a sudar como un cerdo. Qué bien. Y nada, voy a llevar a Petrus otra vez. Siempre me equivoco. Venga, va. Vámonos, Petrus. Vámonos. Y yo qué sé, tío. La otra que llevo sí hora, ¿verdad? Sí. Pues nada. A ver cómo sigue esto. A ver qué ha pasado con aquí las gentes. Bueno, ¿es cosa mía o veo más gente por aquí? Buenas tardes. Aquí. A ver, porque había inquisidores metidos y cada vez que hay inquisidores acaba muriendo gente. Inquisidores, pero gente. Así que a ver qué pasa. Aquí no hay nada. Sospechoso, ¿eh? Buenas tardes. Anda. ¡Uy!
Oh, there you are, Your Excellency.
Hombre, el
The
alquimista.
Enlightened has heard my prayers.
What's going on? Where are the others?
After deciphering the content of the tablets, they went north to continue their research in some swamps. But they must have encountered problems. Brother Fidelis came back here, and he was in a dreadful state. He most likely came to seek help, but he fainted. It's impossible for us to know what happened to them.
I am not a doctor, but I may be able to examine him.
Oh, please do. Any help would be appreciated. We've done our best, but our magic has proved inefficient. And the healer we sent for will certainly arrive too late from San Mateus.
Venga, hombre, si está despierto, se le ve la cara. Míralo. Se está haciendo el dormido.
This man is burning up with fever, and he bears several bite marks and traces of blows.
The blows did not put him in this state. He looks like a victim of poisoning. With the right antidote, I think we could get him back on his feet.
Have you tried giving him any antipoison?
Of course, but to no avail. And what if it were a hex cast by the heretics?
Probablemente sea eso.
No matter what happens, you always suspect them.
Why, of course. The savages are always to blame. The man was in the swamp. There are some rare animals there, and their venom is terrible. A healer from the area will know the antidote.
We could ask Lair. He will direct us to someone who understands remedies.
Pues ya está. Este es verdad que está justo aquí Oye, que un vecino tuyo, pórtate bien. Dale un antídoto, que si no te queman vivos, porque es que esta gente son así. Ey. Lo de este pueblo me hace mucha gracia. No, es que ellos vinieron, se instalaron aquí y por no buscar problemas no les dijimos nada.
Onol Manawi, you've come back to see old Lair. I heard that you managed to retrieve the tablets.
Did Vindwal tell you?
Yes, and I feel more at peace, knowing that our brothers are alive, and that they will be able to join another clan. And you proved me right. Peace with the Renaigse is possible.
I need your advice.
Okay.
You may already know that one of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition.
I heard about it.
He has all the symptoms of a poisoning, but the anti-poisons we gave him had no effect. He must have been bitten by a creature of the swamp, and we're looking for a healer who would know of a suitable antidote.
So, you came to see me. Interesting. Our neighbors did not think for one moment that we could be helpful. Alas, our Donegat is one of the exiles.
Anda.
But Vindwal knows plants well. She will know.
Thank you. I will go see her. I hope she agrees to help us. I have to go.
Loy.
Vale, tengo que irme. Como muchos, como diciendo así. Yo también tengo cosas que hacer, vete por ahí. Me ha encantado, A ver. ¿Y ahora para dónde? Joder. Me da vuelta yo. Esta que ha comentado, que ha mencionado, ¿quién es? Digo esta por... no sé. Espero que sea la madre del otro tipo al que no mate. Estaría bien. Sí, creo que sí. Estaba ahí en ese mismo sitio. Sí es.
Here you
Sí
are
es.
again. What do you want?
What can you tell me about Lair, your former leader?
He is a man of peace. Some people dislike him, not me. Everything he did to save the village. But I think the mind shakers made him forget what we are. He almost speaks like them now.
Sí, no tiene acento apenas.
I have come to ask for your help. Lair told me you know about remedies.
I do know a few of them. I have learned about plants. I used to want to become a Donegad.
One of the researchers came back wounded from the expedition. Apparently he was bitten by a creature of the swamp.
And now he has the Llewellyn fever. We have a good knowledge about this affliction. He will die if he does not receive proper treatment.
Do you know which antidote should be given to him?
Yes. These priests are idiots. They could have asked for our help, but they treat us like children. You are different. And you have allowed my son to join a new clan. So, I will give you the potion to cure the priest. Wait a moment. Make him drink this remedy and he'll get better.
Mira que
Thank
bien.
you, Vindwal.
Mira que bien. Qué rápido ha sido todo esto. No, dijo, coño, que se ha ido.
Where am I?
You're in Eden. You are safe.
Was I unconscious for a long time? The other members of the expedition, they are in danger. The swamp is so hostile. We weren't prepared for it. Some of our people have disappeared.
What caused these wounds?
A nightmarish creature. The swamp is full of them. A colleague and I had left to fetch some help when we were attacked. I managed to run away, but I don't know what happened to him.
Estará muerto
As for
ya.
those who were at the camp, you must go help them.
Show me the location of your colleagues on the map. I will join them.
There. Please, hurry.
Thank you. You should rest now.
¿La ciénaga es el sitio de aquí arriba o es una zona nueva? Porque me suena que puede ser ahí, ¿no? O me suena que puede ser la zona donde hicimos la prueba aquella. Puede ser. La de los tambores, ¿no? Y que después apareció una bicha y el loco ese dijo que era su antigua... su quería, yo qué sé, cosas raras, ¿no? Me suena, pero... es una ciénaga, ¿no? En fin. Pero yo qué sé, lo mismo una zona diferente. Se ha dicho que la marque en el mapa. A ver... no. Ah, bueno. Sí, es la misma. De hecho, tenemos el campamento abierto ya. Ay. Bueno, pues nada. Pues... sí. ¿Qué arma tenía? ¿Para dónde bloqueo? 414. ¿Y yo qué arma? No es que estoy pensando darle, como tenemos una copia de mi arma. No, pero hace mucho menos. Además que no es tampoco la gran cosa la que nosotros tenemos, la verdad. Pero bueno, que da igual, es secundario, si apenas la uso. Estoy quemando. A ver. Ahora vamos a podernos mover por donde no podíamos, ¿acordáis? Que estuve yo media hora intentando. Digo, coño, pero es que algo tiene que haber, joder. De hecho,
I do not remember there being a path in this place the last time we came.
You're perfectly right, my child. This passage must have been cleared by the expedition. We should follow it.
el compañero, ¿no? Bueno. Maravilloso. ¿Veis? Pues entonces en muchos otros... Pues mira, esto es bueno. Porque esto confirma lo que yo sospechaba, ¿no? Que en muchos otros sitios... coño, que han hecho un empalizadito. Que en muchos otros sitios tenemos... en muchos otros mapas que teníamos a medio explorar... Ahí no puedo ir, Zona de campamento.
Was bring you to the place suggested by the tablets. I had no way of knowing.
Really? But I did warn you. You just wanted to have it your way. Someone so foolish and thoughtless should not be supervising an expedition.
How dare you? It looks like we're right on time. If we do not intervene, they're sure to gut each other.
Bueno.
How can you call yourself a man of faith when you turn your back to the word of our founder?
Me? At least I don't allow...
Hey, what's happening here? I could hear you from miles away.
Your Excellency, I'm so happy to see you. You arrive right on time to settle this matter.
How did you manage to find us in the middle of this swamp?
Brother Fidelis managed to reach Eden. He's the one who told us where your camp was.
But he didn't leave alone. What happened to Father Orbricus, who was accompanying him?
Allí está, al
He
final
must
del
be
camino.
dead like our other companions. This is all your fault. This is yet more proof that you are not fit to lead such a team. I should be the one in charge.
Maybe you should calm down and explain to me what's happening here.
This expedition was undertaken with no concern for common sense. We are not equipped to explore this type of place. Our people are disappearing, and all we have found are some falsified writings.
Brother Virgil is terrified, which probably explains why he's being so disingenuous. We have made incredible discoveries, and we could find more.
You are beyond redemption. I won't waste another second talking to you. If you want to talk to me, Your Excellency, it will have to be without her.
How charming.
Sí, tengo una gana.
Your Excellency, I hope you will forgive us for that scene. My relations with Virgil have always been difficult, but ever since we arrived here, it has been unbearable. I'm afraid we may need an arbiter.
Before
No
anything
hace
else,
falta, tú tienes
I
razón
want
y
to
él
know
no.
what has
Y ya
led to
está.
this situation between you.
What would you like to know?
For what reason were you quarreling?
The expedition itself, I'm afraid. Virgil was always against it, especially under my supervision. For him, our discoveries in Eden were sufficient. They confirmed what he wanted. The rest did not matter. According to him, we should never have continued. And when we found new tablets, it became even worse.
Were they also written by Saint Matthias?
Without a doubt. The handwriting is the same. There are also some patterns, some islander symbols. It's fascinating. But what really angers Virgil is the content we managed to
San
decipher.
Mateus era de aquí.
Our founder explains that he learned a lot from the islanders.
Ah, no,
Something our brother cannot accept. He now persists in saying that these tablets are fake, forged by the natives themselves.
Ya.
Brother Fidelis told me that several members of the expedition have disappeared.
Yes, that's why he left along with Father Orbricus to fetch some help. 3 more of our colleagues are missing. And I'm not even talking about the ones who fell ill. I must admit that I underestimated the hardships we would encounter. I made a mistake. I should have prepared this expedition more thoroughly. But Virgil's being disingenuous does not help.
And no one has searched for those who are missing.
I wanted us to search for them, but someone later convinced me that it presented too much of a risk. Along with lack of preparation, our constantly decreasing number, and creatures swarming the area.
And by someone, I suppose you mean Brother Virgil.
Indeed.
I'm thankful for these pieces of information. But you understand that I will also have to talk to Brother Virgil.
Of course, that's understandable. You must hear us both before you can make a decision.
Que hubiera sido una buena idea traernos más antídoto de ese, la verdad. Ya que veníamos para acá. Pero bueno, da igual.
Brother Virgil.
What do you want?
Can you explain to me what caused such a quarrel?
The reason for it is very simple. It is Eugenia's folly. This woman should never have been the supervisor of our team. The discoveries made in Eden were sufficient, but no. She didn't want to stop the research. She organized this expedition in a hurry, without taking elementary precautions, and now she's accepting as facts the delirious writings we discovered on these tablets, without doubting them for even 1 second.
What do you mean?
We found some new tablets, allegedly written by Saint Matthias, but their content is so absurd that they were obviously forged. I am certain that the natives must have found these stones before us and modified their content.
How would they have done that? The natives cannot write.
They must have been helped by an unscrupulous settler. How would I know?
Brother Fidelis told me that some of your colleagues went missing. Do you know anything about this?
They did not go missing. They were killed. It was the wild beasts, the diseases, and let's not forget the savages. We can feel their presence, roaming around the camp at night. I am certain that they are responsible for the death of our colleagues.
That's strange. There aren't many villages around here.
There aren't any. There are a few hermits, but they are not fighters. And they have better things to do than roam around their camp at night.
We've been in this region before, and the only native we met was a little insane, but would have been incapable of killing several priests.
Those savages may very well have been following us since our departure. We will not be safe on this island until it is entirely converted.
I see. So, you haven't tried to find your colleagues?
So we can die as well? I am not as crazy as Sister Eugenia.
I cannot take sides in your quarrel for now. And in any case, it is not what matters the most. Even if you think they are dead, we have to try finding your colleagues.
Well, if you are prepared to take such a risk, I can only commend you for your bravery and wish you luck. But I would not get my hopes up. You should start by searching the excavation site. To get there, take the path south of here. But be careful. The creatures that roam the area are ruthless.
No te preocupes. Yo me encargo. Desapariciones. Vale, hay que dar un... Habrá que dar como un rodeo, ¿no? Llegar al campamento. Algo me dice... Perdón. Que vamos a... No es por aquí, ¿no? Que los vamos a encontrar algunos que lo han salvado algún insular que estaba por la zona o algo, y este va a pensarse que no, que los ha matado, que les ha hecho daño o que les ha hechizado. Porque para nada son predecibles los inquisidores. Creo que tengo que dar un rodeo, ¿eh? Esto seguramente está abierto ahora. Vamos a mirarlo, porque por aquí no hay nada abierto, ¿vale? Esto no es, ¿no? Ahora sí. Vale. Hay otra zona de campamento, ¿eh? Que asumo que será esta, pero bueno. Demasiado campamento para una zona tan pequeña. Todo se ha dicho, ¿eh? Pero bueno. Buenas tardes. Estas son las peligrosas criaturas. a venir. Acercaos todas. Au. Ya, ok. Es que además se llena solo, tío. Si juntas a bastantes, lo llenas solo. Es que está rotísimo, tío.
This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animals.
Yo lo veo bastante completo, ¿eh?
This wound looks different from the others.
Un cuchillo.
It looks like a knife wound.
You're right. He was stabbed before being fed to the animals. But anyone could have used such a blade.
Okay. Se me ocurre que podríamos porque a esto le puse forzar cerradura, que no es tan útil. Se me ocurre el cambiar de arma, de armadura, de accesorio y ponerle lo de ciencia. Lo que pasa es que tendría que ir. No tengo el de esto ahí. Es un poco coñazo, pero bueno, lo vamos a hacer un momentito. No. Porque forzar cerradura, sinceramente... sí, hemos abierto algún cofre que, oye, está bien. Pero luego, para trama, no te hace falta, tío. Porque es que... bueno, que desde las otras no me ubico. ¿Sabes lo que quiero decir, no? Es una pena que este no lo haga, tío. Este debería hacerlo también. Mandoble de teniente, a ver. Bastante mejor. Uy, por Dios. Hombre. Calidad 99, y es para comprar, De nuevo, es que no me apetece comprar equipamiento para los compañeros, salvo que ya sea algo muy exagerado, ¿sabes? Además, me va a venir mejor tener uno más de ciencia que uno más de forzar cerraduras en casi todos los aspectos. Por aquí, ¿verdad? Sí, aquí. No, ya lo vi.
Oh, it's a great.
A ver, es... ¿Este es? No, esto, ¿no? La correa. Quita alquimista, ¿no? Mejor, baja el generador de furia. Pero bueno, ¿qué más hay? Vigor. ¿Y esto qué da? Vigor, vigor también. Vigor y resistencia elemental o vigor y resistencia mágica. Y esto da resistencia al veneno. Bueno, pues ya está. Ya con esto. Con esto debería ser suficiente. Bueno, es que si me ayuda a clarificar la misión. Clarificar, por Dios. Para que estoy, yo qué sé, blanqueando. Si me ayuda a progresar en la trama, pues mejor, la verdad. Y es raro, a ver, ¿qué más talentos hay? Vigor, carisma es la capa, fuerza cerrador, intuición, artesanía no hay ninguno, es raro. Podría haber, yo qué sé, cinturón de herramientas o algo así, en plan, yo qué sé, un destornillador, ¿sabes? Cosillas así. Por aquí no es, ¿no? No, aquí hay algo, pero... me pedirán fuerza cerradura, verás.
This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look like he was in a fight. Could he have fallen?
That is unlikely. Look, my child. The wound is located at the back of the skull. I regret to say that, in my opinion, he was struck from behind. With a mace, most likely.
This man's death was no accident. Nor was it linked to any predator attack. It was caused by a violent strike to the back of the skull with a mace, and it didn't take place here. The marks surrounding the body show that it was moved. Most likely to make it seem like he fell to his death. This man's skull is sunken, but he doesn't look
Lo ha
like he was
matado
in a fight.
el otro para...
Could he have fallen?
That is unlikely.
Para que parezca que los han matado los insulares o para que... O las bestias aquí, ¿vale? Para que echarle la culpa a la otra de que la expedición es un fracaso. Oh, hola. Sé que hemos estado bastante tiempo fuera, pero no esperaba que volvieran esta gente aquí. Esto imagino que también, ¿no? Ah, pues no. Hace plop y aparecen todos.
The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound. But alas, it is impossible to know who was wielding it.
Eso es lo que me ha dicho la ciencia, ¿vale? O sea, prácticamente lo mismo.
The body of this man was devoured by beasts, but it happened after he died. One of the wounds is clearly a knife wound.
Claro.
But alas, it is impossible to know who was wielding it. This poor soul was almost entirely devoured. He must have been killed by swamp animals. Even so, this wound looks different from the others. It looks like a knife wound.
You're right. He was stabbed before being fed to the animals.
O sea, al final llegamos a las mismas conclusiones, tengamos el nivel de ciencia o no. ¿Sabéis? Buenas tardes. Solo son dos, pero bueno. Y ya está. Aquí está el otro.
These fang marks are impressive. The poor man didn't have a chance. He must have been attacked by a large reptile. Most likely a Llewellyn.
Yeah.
But what was he doing alone, so far from the camp? It seems obvious now that these disappearances were orchestrated.
The deaths of these people were a deception. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to do such a thing.
Yeah.
They kill each other and accuse my people. This virgin, he wants to push aside this woman at all cost. He must be the culprit.
Indeed. I think that we should go find this brother and ask for an explanation.
Le he dado a examinar, no le he dado al de esto de ciencia. Y al final hemos sacado las mismas conclusiones. O sea, ¿para qué me pides tener un nivel de ciencia si no hace falta? A lo mejor es que llevo a los compañeros adecuados. Pero... me suena un poco... Vale, voy a ir... Por ahí no. Voy a ir hasta aquí, que hay otro campamento. Y desde el mismo campamento podemos... Así. Desde el mismo campamento podemos hacer viaje rápido. Buenas tardes. Hay más por ahí, ¿eh? Vale, he tenido que hacer un pequeño corte porque le he dado sin querer a la barria. ¡Ah! Justo en el mismo lado se ha parado. A la barra espaciadora. Y se ha cortado la grabación porque soy un crack, ¿vale? Estas cosas solo las hago yo. Así que nada. Vamos a... Curioso porque me ha pasado exactamente lo mismo antes. Me había dado, ¿vale? Oye. Me muero. Estoy aquí súper confiado. Vale, pues nada. Vamos a seguir. Poca vergüenza, de verdad. Qué poco profesional. De hecho, lo juro, le di sin querer a la tecla de espacio. Y nada, no he hecho nada, en verdad. Vine aquí. O sea, vine hasta aquí, subí aquí al campamento. Que es un campamento lo que hay, obviamente. Vale. ¿Veis ahí? Esto lo digo ya porque estuve ahí media hora buscando. ¿Veis que por ahí se puede subir? Pero es que la vegetación esta no nos deja. Así que probablemente se vaya en algún momento. Pues ya está. Hice esto. Y de aquí fui al otro campamento. Vamos. Y me extrañé, me alarmé bastante de que al final el problema haya sido por culpa de los inquisidores, que ha sido un descubrimiento que yo para nada me esperaba, la verdad. ¿Sabes? Y ya está. Y ya hablando con este tío, me he dicho, espérate, voy a mirar si sigue grabando esto. Y efectivamente no estaba grabando.
Brother Virgil.
Your Excellency, weren't you supposed to be looking for our colleagues?
Indeed. I regret to say that they are indeed all dead.
I knew it. What a waste. Eugenia and her recklessness are to blame for this.
I'm afraid someone else is responsible for this. These deaths are not accidental, and yet they were disguised as such.
The savages. Their thirst for blood is unquenchable. I knew we should never have come without an escort.
Watch your tongue, priest. Our people have no need to hide when they protect their land. Only the Renaigse are deceitful enough to disguise a death.
Who else could it be?
Someone who desperately wanted this expedition to fail. Does that remind you of anyone?
Fine. You unmask.
Lo rápido que la
But know
desenmascara,
that
¿sabes?
my cause is righteous. The Ordo Luminis sent me to keep an eye on this expedition, to ensure that the discoveries we made would not jeopardize our nation or our presence on this island.
Hijo, lo está
But the
abordando,
inscriptions on the tablets are a heresy, a dangerous manipulation. Can you imagine what would happen if it was said that our founder listened to the teachings of the natives? But even then, foolish Eugenia accepted these discoveries as truth, without any hesitation, without realizing that our entire nation could suffer because of it. So yes, I wanted to scare her.
I understand that you might want to protect your nation, but to go as far as assassinating several of your colleagues...
Come now. What would you do if someone were threatening the congregation? You cannot make me believe that you would not be willing to kill. You may have already done so. But since you want to avoid using violence, help me convince Eugenia to go back to Eden. My colleagues and I know how to sort through these discoveries. And you will be rewarded, of course.
This Renaigse tried to blame my people for these crimes. The priests would have wanted to punish them, and innocent people would have died. He must answer for his treachery.
It is undeniable that these discoveries could cause a great upset in Taleme. But he has no right to decide what should be revealed or not. On this island, Cornelia should be the one to decide. Be careful with your accusations, though. Eugenia and her colleagues are on edge. I don't want them to start killing each other.
Vale. No. Revelar, yo lo veo.
It seems to me that all members of this expedition are concerned. They should decide on what to do next.
No sé. Con Petrus. Bueno, Petrus, lo siento. Ya contigo me puse de buenas, diga. Pero no es que se empiecen a matar, ¿no? Pues no conmigo aquí, ¿no?
Everybody listen. Alas, I must inform you that I found the dead bodies of your missing colleagues. How awful.
What happened to them?
Someone wanted us to believe that they were killed by some swamp animals. But it was all staged. Your colleagues were murdered, and their bodies abandoned to the creatures.
What? But why do such a thing? And who murdered them?
Brother Virgil confessed to his crimes in front of me.
Monster! You will pay for these crimes. These people you killed were our brothers. Our friends.
You stupid goose. You really believe that I will let you pass judgment on me? You shouldn't have been so quick to accept these lies that could destroy our nation. And want to reveal them for all to hear. You are solely responsible for these deaths.
How dare you present yourself as the protector of our nation? Murderer!
¿Es necesario darse de hostias? Y de verdad hacía falta. Yo, esto de matar indiscriminadamente a miembros de otra facción me resulta un tanto perturbador, la verdad. Una facción presumiblemente aliada, ¿sabes? Pero vamos, que... yo qué sé. Que sí que se resisten, pero yo qué sé, le parte la boca y ya toma por culo, ¿no? Y dice, papá, tú te callas. Y lo deja ahí, ¿sabes? Y la otra va riendo, ¿eh? Qué profesional.
I'm sorry, sister. Brother Virgil fled during the battle.
The coward. And naturally his accomplices fled along with him. What a waste. So many people died.
Perhaps I shouldn't have revealed his crimes in front of everyone. But I thought it was the best way of ensuring he would be judged.
Considering how high tensions have been these last few days, a fight was inevitable, alas. But you did what you thought was fair.
A lo mejor era mejor decirle que abandonara el campamento.
Take this, as a token of gratitude for shedding light on these dismal events. Alas, we will have to go back to Eden as well. There are too few of us to continue the research.
Were you hoping to discover more?
Of course. This place was but a single step in St. Matthias's journey. The last tablets speak of a journey northbound, further up in the swamp.
Sí,
but
es la
even
zona
if
que os
Virgil
comenté
is
antes.
no longer a threat, we are not sufficiently well equipped to go there.
We could go there for you if you wish.
That would be marvelous.
Ah, bueno.
Of course, you would have to start from the I think I noticed a path going north when I was there, actually. Look for any traces of life. Perhaps you will be lucky enough to find more of his writings. That would be fantastic.
Estaba
Don't worry. I will conduct this research and come find you here if I uncover anything.
Vale, es que estaba pasando rápido el texto porque pensaba que se iba a cortar la misión. Vale, pero obviamente se trata de esta zona que os he comentado. Vamos a seguir, ¿vale? Así como está, ¿vale? Esto de... me había asustado al principio, pero bueno, parece que no es problema. No es por aquí. No, es verdad, hay que dar toda la vuelta. Pero que estaba pensando en usar la otra opción, la de decirles que... decirle al otro que abandone la expedición. Pero claro... otra vez. Macho, se ha muerto. ¿Sabéis? Decirle al otro que abandone la expedición y entonces decirle a esta lo que ha pasado. Claro, en ese momento a lo mejor ella se enfada conmigo, ¿sabes? Porque dice, oye, he dejado escapar a un asesino, ¿sabes? Y yo qué sé. ¿Por dónde es? Por Dios. Yo vine por aquí, ¿no? Es que soy muy tonto. Esperarse. Porque es que soy muy tonto, ¿sabes? Porque podría haber hecho el viaje rápido y terminamos antes. Pues no sé, tío. Me he quedado un poco con la cosa de haberlo hecho mal. De hecho, haber bajado la reputación con Petrus y haber bajado uno con con la esto, aun habiendo subido 2 después.
I've never been that far into the swamp, but if I was to live here, I would look for a drier place.
¿Sabéis? Me hace pensar que no es la mejor opción. No, guardar no. A ver. Ya es tarde, ya los dos guardados automáticos ya se me han sobrescrito. Da igual, tío. ¿No? Y ahora de repente desapareció la... ¿Gato? Desapareció la vegetación. Esperaba que tuviera que pasar más tiempo, pero se ve que no. Por Dios. Caña. Intenta quitarle... Ah, no, bueno, la armadura me la pela bastante. Esto para bajarle la resistencia. Sí, me ha dado. No, no.
Your magic is running out. Take a potion. May the shadow engulf our enemies.
No magic. Drink a potion.
May the shadow engulf our enemies. Your magic is running out. Take a potion.
Lo veo una mierda, por culpa de la cámara, weón. Ah, perdona. Debe de ser suficiente. Por favor. Espada sacrificial. Maravilloso. Punto de habilidad. Por favor. Tendría que haber usado el escudo, ahora que lo pienso, la verdad. Vale, punto de talento. Intuición. Subo ciencia. Vigor. Vigor. Vale. Obviamente.
A cavern. Hermits often choose places like this when they want to live away from the world.
Ahora. Ya estamos preparados.
This is incredible. To rummage through this place.
No sé lo que ha dicho, lo siento. Esto es para volver, ¿no? Sí. ¿Puede estar un poco más cerca la cámara, por Dios? Es que de verdad, poco más me como el sombrero, cojones. No hay ajuste ninguno. Qué vida este, tarde. ¿Ya está? Vuelta más tonta, por Dios.
These murals are magnificent. If St. Matthias did come here, this is where he must have settled.
Let's take a closer look at these paintings. We may learn something from them. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest, getting his face painted by a masked native. This mural is very ancient. It depicts an old man dressed as a priest, getting his face painted by a masked native.
What? Pero... Ah, ahora, coño. No sabía.
This mural depicts an old man praying in front of a face in the mountain. He's holding a rosary. Saint Matthias, praying to Enon Mil Frichteman. I do not know these glyphs, but these spirals are native symbols. There are some words in our ancient language next to them. The light and the earth are the two faces of a same power. It's impossible to know if this is a translation or another sentence. But this is a message that would seriously displease the Inquisitors.
I cannot believe it. These symbols, they are signs used in the secret writing of the Donegada.
Engraved tablets. They resemble the ones we recovered in Eden. We should take them with us. The researchers would be delighted to study them. There are some native symbols here and some letters I recognize, as if someone had tried to write in the native language using our alphabet. Men dwi stad in on mil frichtemen.
It means, welcome us amongst your people, Enon Mil Frichtemen.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias would have known about the spirit of the island and would have prayed to him.
Vale, falta.
It looks like a chaplet made of pewter. It's rather basic, but it was made a long time ago. And it undeniably comes from the continent.
This is incredible. Saint Matthias is often depicted or described as using a similar chaplet. Oh, I feel so lucky to be here. In this cavern where our founder lived.
¿Veis? Por eso me gusta llevar personajes de las mismas facciones a las misiones.
Saint Matthias, the founder of Ptolemy, finished his life worshipping the islanders' god. This is so incredible. Although it will cause a huge upset for our nation, our cult, and our relations with the natives.
I wonder what I should do with these relics. Eugenia probably didn't imagine that Saint Matthias lived his life in a way that's so different from what they advocate. As for Virgil, he wasn't wrong. Such a revelation will certainly cause a schism in Ptolemy.
I understand you must be concerned. Great revelations are often followed by a trail of blood. But if what we found was revealed, my people could live in peace with the priests at last.
Supuestamente.
I already took sides in their quarrel. If I change my mind, I'm afraid that it might be seen as treason. I'll think about it on the way there. Let's go back to the researchers' camp.
Me voy en... Porque me han dado 50 monedas. Ah, ya vamos con... Ah, vale, que me han cambiado la misión. Vale. Pero... Algo me dice que voy a encontrar al Virgil de camino, ¿eh? ¡Ey! Había algo ahí. Ah, que está ahí. Coño, pues no lo he visto. ¿Dónde es, por Dios? ¿Esto? No. What? Anda, mira.
I can't do that.
¿Cómo que no? Es que me subió vigor, tío. Loco, pero joder. Me tendría que haber subido, lo sabía, tío. Espérate. Aquí había subido de nivel. Creo que sí. Sí, porque fue al matar al bicho grande. Me cago en... Da igual. De verdad, no ser lo suficientemente intuitivo como para colarte por un hueco. Me sorprendes. Vamos, si los hubiera dejado seguir la investigación, probablemente hubieran muerto todos, porque este bicho se los merienda, ¿no? Tal cual, ¿no? Que si se hubieran comido a Virgil, no me importa, ¿eh? A ver si no se los ha cargado ya. Que ha vuelto con refuerzo y ha dicho: los salvajes han destruido a nuestros compañeros. Los han hechizado. Se ve que no. Pero podéis haber recogido los cadáveres, ¿sabes?
So, did you find anything? Or do you need my help?
Te vas a cagar en las bragas, hija mía.
We discovered a cave that was inhabited a long time ago by a whole group of people, mostly natives, who had obviously created a sacred site, as the place was guarded by a creature.
And have you found traces of our holy founder?
Oh.
New relics? Perhaps some tablets?
There were also frescoes on the site, representing Saint Mateus.
What?
Frescoes? Tell me more. This is fascinating.
He was shown having his face painted by a native. On another, he prayed to the god of the mountain.
You can't be serious. You mean to say that our saint converted to the cult of the islanders?
That is what emerges from our findings, yes. Other objects that I was able to bring back also point in this direction. Look, there are inscriptions. These tablets and also this chaplet.
This chaplet? I cannot believe it. It is so... Excuse me. I cannot find the words to express how I feel. You must come with me. We must go and present all these discoveries to the Mother Cardinal. You realize our entire dogma will have to change. So far, anyone who wanted to question it would have burned their fingers. Literally, alas.
And you think that this time they'll listen?
We have solid proof. All this evidence. With your support, we will convince her to reveal the truth.
I see. I will do my best to help you.
No creo que sea tan fácil.
It seems we are arriving right on time.
Vaya.
You did well to warn us, Brother Virgil.
Vaya.
Virgil. How did you know?
I'm afraid that your Excellency's lies weren't very convincing.
We were informed of your discoveries and of the danger they represent. We demand that you hand them over to us immediately, so that they can be destroyed.
How can you even suggest the destruction of relics written by the hand of our founder?
Out of love for our dogma, for our faith, and for our nation. But since you refuse to comply with our orders,
si lo hubiéramos dejado abandonar el campamento.
Death to the heretics!
Si lo hubiéramos dejado abandonar el campamento, probablemente. ¿Qué?
I cannot believe that I just fought my own brothers in faith. The fact that the Inquisition is after us is very disturbing, Excellency.
We would do well to hasten to San Mateus. They will not dare to attack you there.
No.
Even if these men were the last forces that the Inquisition could send us.
You are right. All this proves is that I will not succeed without your help. There is a risk that the Mother Cardinal will also reject our discoveries.
Fortunately, we have some leverage over this, dear Cornelia. And if you will allow me to attend the hearing, I would be delighted to support you.
Your help will be precious to us, Father. In any case, we must present our research to Mother Cardinal as soon as possible. I will study the tablets one last time to make sure I know all their content. And I will meet you at the palace in San Mateus to plead our case.
Understood. See you soon, Sister Eugenia. Be careful.
Vale. ¿Puedo saquear? Tonto este. Te ordenamos. Uy, tengo que volver, Coraza de soldado de la Inquisición. Esta puede ser buena. ¿Quién más? ¿Hay alguno más? Hay unos pocos, O sea, he subido medio nivel aquí, nada más que matando inquisidores, lo cual está bien. Vale, pues... vámonos rápido. Asumo que es... sí, es San Mateo, sí. Bueno, vamos a hacer esto porque no quiero perder el hilo de esta misión. Tengo tiempo de sobra. Y a ver si me va a dar el tiempo justito, ¿sabes? Quiero una cosa. Creo que es la misma que lleva, ¿no? Ah, no. Corazón. Vale, esta es peor. A ver, esta, claro, a ver. Calidad 93. O sea, esta en verdad es mejor. O sea, que se la vamos a cambiar en cuanto pueda. No me gusta porque es de la Inquisición. Pero bueno, ¿y el casco del otro? No me lo han dado. Uy, qué raro se le ve, ¿veis? El pelo. Porque tiene el mismo pelo que el otro. Bueno. Ya lo haremos, ¿vale? Que creo que pasa el tiempo igual, Me hace gracia porque el cálculo nos lo han hecho ya antes de lo otro, antes de, o sea, antes de salir del campamento, ¿no? Un poco en plan, ya ha pasado el tiempo, ¿no? Pero bueno, aquí no es. Lo he visto la caja, pero me voy a contener, ¿vale? Madre mía, no lo han sacado este de aquí todavía. O sea, el recurso de del chantaje va a valer para todo ahora, ¿o qué? A ver qué dice esta. ¿Qué hago? Espero. Tío, ¿qué hago, tío? No puedo esperar horas. Tengo que esperar hasta por la mañana. O tengo que esperar... ¿Y si hablo con ella?
Your Eminence,
Lady de Sardet.
What will become of the members of the Ordo Luminis?
Domitius will be sent back to the mainland and will be judged alongside some of his most vindictive colleagues. The Ordo Luminus as a whole cannot be held responsible for the errors of only one of its members. We need the Inquisitors, so some of them will continue their mission.
Yeah.
You seem to know Father Petrus.
Do I frighten you so much?
Come on, Petrus. Our young legate probably wants an outside in response to your questions, Your Excellency. He spent many years in different countries bringing the light.
I must leave you.
Naturally.
Buah. Bueno, pues vamos a una cosa. Como tengo que hacer corte igual en este vídeo por el pequeño error de la barra espaciadora, lo voy a dejar aquí. O sea, voy a hacer un corte ahora y... porque es que no quiero irme a dormir y que de repente se me haya pasado la hora y la otra, no sé. Bueno, espérate. Tampoco me apetece, es que hay que esperar por lo menos al time lapse. Parecen segundos, los minutos como si fueran segundos. Uy, por Dios. Pero, bueno, sí, mira, voy a esperar. Da igual, tío. Vale, y ya toma por culo. ¿Qué son? 5 minutos, pues 5 minutos y ya. Pues esperamos y ya está. Que lo lógico es que, tío, a veces te permiten esperar en un sitio y otras no. No lo entiendo.
Your Excellency.
Ha sido súper interesante. 5 minutos mirando Twitter.
Sister Eugenia was just recounting me the tale of your achievements and telling me about the incredible discoveries you've made.
These relics shed a new light on the last years of our founder. It all demonstrates that he hadn't evangelized the islanders, but, on the contrary, he would even have adopted some of their rituals, merging the cult of the enlightened and the cult of nature in a single dogma.
These discoveries, if they can be verified, are extraordinary. But they also represent a great upheaval that could harm our nation. We must first verify their authenticity. You are the only ones who entered this cave. Could what you have witnessed been a falsification?
The entrance to the cave was protected by one of those giant creatures that the natives call a Nardaig. These guardians usually protect sacred places and let no one enter without a fight. I had to kill this beast, which leads me to think that nobody had entered the cave for a very long time. The cavern we discovered is located in a very remote place. There's no island or village nearby. It contains some ruined dwellings, but clearly no one has lived there for a very long time. Fraudsters would inevitably have left traces of their passage, and we have not found any. We discovered ancient frescoes on the walls of the cave. They represent Saint Matthias without a doubt. He's depicted with his chaplet. In one, he is praying for the divinity of the island. In the other, his face was being painted by a native. I understand how shocking these discoveries are, but their antiquity proves that they are genuine.
The tablets found at the site, however, attest that our founder had not abandoned the cult of the enlightened. He simply saw it as two different reflections of the same divine power.
The relics could be authentic, Your Excellency, but we only have your word to convince us. The political and religious impact of these discoveries will be unprecedented. We risk schism, civil war, and who is to say that this is not a plan to weaken us?
It seems that you only see the negative aspects of this discovery. But the reality is very different. By integrating some of the natives' beliefs into your dogma, you could build an alliance with them. Something no other nation has managed to achieve before.
It is a good argument, Your Excellency. I hadn't thought about that.
I would also like to inform you that a member of the Ordo Luminis was part of the expedition. He tried several times to sabotage it, even killing many of his colleagues for it. And finally, he attacked us, as we were preparing to join San Matthias.
Who'd have thought that the remaining members of the Order would go to such extremes? But I fear these attacks are just a reflection of what will happen if your discoveries are made public.
Your Eminence, we are faced with a crucial choice for our nation. What does a man of faith do in such a dilemma? He prays and places his trust in the one who came before him and has shown more wisdom. Saint Matthias shows us a new way. If we are believers, can we really turn our backs on him?
You surprise me, Petrus. You who are always so political, yet your words seem sincere. You give me something to think about. Thank you.
If my people knew that the great sage they had long respected is the same man as your saint, and that your priests respected our culture as he did, they would be welcomed here as brothers.
And the Eden we wanted to build would be everywhere. You speak sense, Princess. Does anyone wish to add anything?
San Lucius? What?
I understand your doubts about the future, which are inevitably caused by such a revelation. You hesitate just as St. Lucius did to tell us about the journey of his master. Yet in the end, he revealed what he knew, and his words still guide Thélème today.
Thank you for your testimony. I will now retire to think about everything and make my decision. After careful consideration, I have decided that it is my duty to reveal your discoveries to the world. It will take years for our theologians to study all of this, but our dogma must follow the path opened by Saint Matthias.
Thank you, Your Eminence. I would be delighted to help with the study of these relics.
I don't doubt it, my dear. And I would like you to take me to see this cave. I look forward to worshipping at the place where our holy founder ended his days. As for you, Your Excellency, I thank you for the help you have given us. Your sincere insight has encouraged me to make this difficult decision.
It was my pleasure.
Let me also thank you, Your Excellency. Without you, we would still be in the shadows.
Oh, muerta. Madre mía, me quieren en Celem más que... En Teleme, perdón. Más que... A alguien de Teleme, vamos. Más que a Petrus. Y eso que Petrus es Sean Connery, ¿sabes? Que no... Vale, voy a mirar lo que me han dejado en el cofre. A ver si me acuerdo del camino de memoria, oye. Voy a mirar lo que me han dejado en el cofre y ya lo dejamos, ¿vale? Esto es lo que digo. Esto está vacío ya, lo del Ordo Lumini de los cojones, ¿no? Pero vamos. No sé si era por la izquierda o por la derecha. Creo que en verdad es casi igual. No, por aquí no es. Por la derecha era más rápido. A ver, por aquí se llega, pero es más lento. Bastante más lento. Ya la estoy liando, ¿eh? Da igual. Todo por no buscar... Es que quería este cofre. Es que quería abrir esta caja, oye. Yo lo sabía. Qué vuelta más tonta, por Dios. Ay, qué tonto soy. Mira que era... Cogida por aquí, aquí. Y he dado toda la vuelta, he venido por aquí. Para acá, para acá, para acá, para acá. Mira que bien. Buenas tardes, Kurt. A ver, tendría que mirar lo otro, pero bueno. ¿A qué me han dejado? Esto no es. Esto no es. Esto no es. Y esta no es. ¿Una armadura me han dejado? Esta no es, ¿no? ¿O sí? No, esta la he guardado yo, ¿verdad? Que mola un montón, por cierto. Esta es de los nautas. Se la pongo a... Requiere 3 de constitución. Creo que no se la puedo poner a... Esta es... Regeneración de maná, papá. Es como voluntad 4, obviamente. O sea, necesito... Que tengo voluntad 3... No, tengo voluntad 2, ¿verdad? Tengo voluntad 2. Me hacen falta por lo menos 3 niveles más o... Yo qué sé, es que no sé ni cuál. Yo qué sé, tío, de verdad, ¿eh? ¿Se la puedo poner al otro mientras? Este sí, ¿no? Es que será puto. Escudo de magia, ayuda mágica. Esta sí es mágico. Explosión mágica. No tiene, creo que no tiene ninguna de esas. Tampoco es mucho mejor que la mía, ¿eh? O sea, es... No, claro. Digo... Vale, espérate. Inventario no. A ver, armadura. Este, sácalo. A ver. Ah, no son los nautas. Ah, no, es la guardia de la moneda, ¿no? Sí. A ver, es que este lleva una coraza, chaval. Coraza escarlata. Esta es amarilla, pero esta tiene más calidad. No sabría decirte, ¿eh? Me gusta más esta. La verdad. Esta es un poco más... Aparte, esta tiene mejoras y tiene menos armadura. Y esta está sin mejoras. ¿Sabes? Y este, pues, yo qué sé, tío. Lo puedo poner en verdad. Bueno, a ver, me gustaría ponerle una de su facción, pero bueno. Pues nada, pues voy a volver a guardar. Hostia, ¿hasta dónde ha salido, por Dios? Sabre oficial naval. Paz sacrificial. Esta se la puedo poner a la otra, creo, ¿eh? Y esta es para vender todas. Damos esta. Esta la voy a dejar de momento. Esta es para vender. Esto hay que mirarla. La voy a guardar otra vez. Bueno, da igual. Lo vamos a dejar por aquí, ¿vale? Ha sido bastante largo esto, la verdad. Yo creo que le debería de poner la de esto ya directamente, ¿eh? Y cuando me acuerde se la mejoro y a tomar por culo. Esta la debería de guardar por... no sé. Me gusta. Tío, esto es de verdad. Coño. De acero usado. What? Esto es porque no... Guantes de obispo, pero si no tienen nada. Y que tienen mejor resistencia. Los puedo poner. Y ahora mejorarlo. Y estos de acero. Guantes de comandante. Es que son muy malos, en verdad, tío. Tienen las resistencias, pero no me gusta. Para mí a lo mejor, ¿no? No, yo... Ah, vale, yo tengo estos. Y esta va... Vale, este... ¿Y esta que lleva? Esta también lleva... Vale. De nuevo, estos se supone que son mejores, pero bueno. Yo qué sé, muchas cosas. Bueno, ahora sí, lo vamos a dejar por aquí, ¿vale? Que se me ha hecho esto muy largo. Probablemente sea 1 hora y pico, ¿no? 1 hora y pico larga. Da igual. Y ahora hay que juntarlo todo y cortar el trozo ese. En fin, espero que os haya gustado el vídeo. Un saludo a todos, muchas gracias. Y nos vemos en el próximo.